Hi, I'm Kevin. Hi, Kevin, if you come across me on the weekend. So I want to talk about practice makes permanent. So when I'm not coding, which is very rare, one of my favorite pastimes is playing guitar. So music is a creative outlet and it requires consistent, disciplined practice in order to actually make progress. I started out about 10 years ago. And when I started out, I spent days learning just how to play and change between chords. So a D was fairly easy, but going from a C to a D to a G, it was murder to start with. But consistent, disciplined practice got me through it. After a few weeks of practice, I was able to actually play a song. It was 4 chords. If you've heard the 4 chord song, you can imagine that means that I can play just about nothing. But about a couple of slip-ups in playing songs, I could actually get something out. But every skill I acquired kind of led to a plethora of new, more advanced skills that I could then learn. So once I learned to play a chord, the next thing was to learn to do a bar chord. But so a bar chord, if you don't play a string instrument, is where you take a chord pattern, you push it up or down the fretboard, and you put your index finger down across all of the strings on the lowest notes, and you can play the same pattern up and down the fretboard, and that's called a bar chord. But it would have been unwise for me to try and learn that without first being able to play basic chords. So the point on this is technique and muscle memory that comes with playing an instrument takes time to master. But it's also easy to learn the wrong things and then have to undo that learning later. So one example I had of that was learning to do vibrato. So vibrato is where you stretch and release a string to get a differing of pitch very rapidly. And it was a friend of mine who was a professional studied musician who watched me do it and said, no, Kevin, that's wrong. I was able to do it, but what I was doing was, he said, you can keep doing that, but you're going to give yourself an RSI after a year. So, okay, I had to change my technique. The learning from that is, although I had practiced, and I got it right, I had not necessarily perfected it. And that's why I say conventional wisdom fails. Practice doesn't make perfect. I practiced something, I'd been able to do it, but it wasn't perfect. Practice makes permanent. Only perfect practice makes perfect. You have to practice the right things. So that's all well when talking about music, but I'm going to apply that to software engineering now. So what does that have to do with this? A musician doesn't walk on stage and perform without first having practiced and rehearsed their piece beforehand. If they do, they run the risk they're going to jeopardize their career, probably never be invited to play again, ruin their reputation. Now, if we're going to, when we get into our work environments, it's important that we've got our techniques down, that we know how to solve the problems that we're being paid to solve, and we've practiced our technique before we get to actually doing our job. So I say if we see ourselves as craftsmen and craftswomen and take pride in our work, we need to have that muscle memory ingrained into us, and we need to have practiced before, well, outside of our work. So there are many ways of practicing coding, and a few things I really like to do are things like learning new languages and code carters. How many of you have done code carters?
We got 1 more minute.
Okay, I've got this much text left. Okay, so code carters are where it basically give you a space where you've got a specific problem, a known problem that you can solve, and then you can try and solve it in a variety of ways, whether it's in a new language, or with specific constraints. Another case of this is a code retreat. I don't know, one show of hands, have any of you done a code retreat? Yeah, so Corey Haynes started this format where you spend about a day in short 45-minute segments just working on Conway's Game of Life as a code carter and trying new ways of solving the problem. And just by doing this, by collaborating with someone for a full day, or with different people across a full day, you get to practice things like pair programming and test-driven development and improve the skills that you would be using in your day-to-day jobs. So my takeaway from all of this, I think, is practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. Practice really makes permanent. Make sure you're practicing the right things and take the time to make sure you're practicing and getting the right skills. Thank you.